I want to spend a few minutes describing what we established in Baka. I don't know how many of you have been on Rehov Emek Rifayim recently or not so recently. Please come and visit us. We've established a community in Baka on Rehov Emek Rifayim. It's on a street that's completely spotted and dotted with coffee shops and restaurants. It's the hustle and bustle of Yerushalayim, very close to the Kotel and the Mokom HaMikdash. A week from today we have Yom Yerushalayim. And all of a sudden, this kehillah, this community has just spread tremendously. I mean, on Yom Ha'atzmaut, for example, we had a packed house. We had a special dinner. On Lag BaOmer, again, experiences and wonderful. We have a kollel of 10 Avrechim, all of whom are studying for the Rabbanut Smicha. They've already taken the first exam, which is Chuppah V'Kedushin. That was a 6-month, 8-month program, and now they're doing Shabbat, the laws of Shabbos, which they've already been involved in for a full year and a half. The exam should be coming up soon. They're all excellent. I have a picture that I want to show you of the kollel, together with the chief rabbi came to speak by us. And these are members of Klal Yisrael that want to give to Klal Yisrael. After they get the smicha, they're going out to be rabbanim and mechanchim all over the world. We just celebrated our 2nd anniversary, and about a year ago, Rabbi Myers, who's the co-rabbi of our community, has taken upon himself a brand new venture, which he's going to describe to you, called the Lone Soldiers of Emek Rifayim, Emek Lone Soldiers. And I think it's very important that you hear about this. There are many organizations that are working on behalf of lone soldiers. There's some gap, a little bit of a Mokom Hinichu Lo Chachamim, meaning something that was never filled. And it's very important. It's a great act of chesed that we're filling. I'm very excited about it. Rabbi Myers, I turn over the floor to you, and to please explain what we're doing in the Emek Lone Soldiers.
Thank you very much. As Roberto said, we started this kehillah about 2 years ago, and what's unique about the kehillah, it's like a kehillah you got in Chutz La'aretz. In Israel, you have a shul, and people get all their shiurim elsewhere and do all their religious things. Whereas in Chutz La'aretz, the shul is the focal point of all the community around it, and that's what we're trying to do. And one of the parts of the shul really is the lone soldiers. There are a lot of lone soldiers. It's a more and more popular option for post-high school students. In other words, folks, in your day, you had Mevaseret, you had Shalavim, you had Akotel, you had KBY, which are regular yeshivas for Chutz La'aretz. I went to BMT, and that was back in the day, as we say. And now there's a whole slew of yeshivas where it is learning in the morning, and every afternoon they do chesed, they go on trips, because the kids are, won't be able to learn and wouldn't even come to Israel if it was a whole day thing. But further on than that, you get kids who, for whatever reason, decide to come, religious kids who decide to come to the army. I spoke to a lot of mechanchim. I spoke to Rabbi Ephraim Goldberg in Boca. I spoke to Rabbi Spiro over here at Orach Chaim. More and more kids, religious kids, are going to the army. For whatever reason, I don't know, and it's a good thing, because that's what they really want to do. And there's no organization which is a civilian backdrop for them. All the other organizations do a lot of work with the soldiers on a grand scale, giving them gifts or having big events for them, but nobody's looking at the lone soldiers, which are English speaking and come from a religious background. We had a meeting earlier on at Dr. Yaakov Feldman. We had a lone soldier came there, a guy from 157 Palm Court. His name is Benny Lewis. He was in the Haredi. I mean, he did the army a few years ago and finished. He said he stayed on the base, or he had some sort of family which had adopted him, but he couldn't go to any events. He was a frum guy. It's all mixed. There's women singing. Never mind if they go beer drinking and all the rest of it. They just haven't got the thing. So we started to work with these guys. We have an apartment. Want to raise money for more another apartment. We'd like to run a mechina program, because the guys who come, a lot of them come and they haven't got a place to go to. They don't get drafted immediately. It takes a few months, and they hang about. They haven't got a proper miskeret. So if we have the facilities for them where they can have the miskeret. We can give them some learning, we can give them some exercise, we can give them some army orientation, and set that up as a mechina, because the guys need that, so they'll come to us. The time we have there is small. The guys come for a year and a half. It's a bit more because they get drafted only after a few months, and you've got to find them. The army's not going to tell you where they are. But however, about a month ago, more than a month ago, a month and a half ago, I met with Rabbi Ramra Avad. He was the Rav Rashi of Chel Avir, the Israel Air Force. He's recently retired, and somebody introduced me to him. He was very happy with what we were doing, and he took us to the Kiryat, that's the army headquarters in Tel Aviv, and we met the welfare department. Like in Israel and many other countries, I'm sure, they have to ensure that the soldiers have all their mental and physical needs are taken so they can be the best soldiers possible. They have psychologists, welfare people. In Israel, they'll let a guy do a different service if he has to be home for whatever reason. There's a socio-economic needs or whatever. And the lone soldiers, there's no civilian backup for these English-speaking religious lone soldiers. There's nothing. So we went to the army, and they, in Israel, so they're very quick. 25 seconds, they said, fine, we want to come and see what you're doing. I said, look, you can come and see. You'll see a shul. You'll see an empty apartment. But if they want to come and see, just, maybe there's no apartment. Maybe it's just a P.O. box, right? Post office box. Valued very meolam, right? You read this all in the O. Henry stories. A guy set up a whole shell company and people come in and they talk and there's nothing there. Anyway, I'll show a picture of it here. So what I did is I had 10 lone soldiers there and we served a lunch. And each soldier said, Shem Sheli Jack, and I'm from Denver, and I was in Handa Sakrafit. And this, and they're very, very impressed. So they're helping us in every possible way. The first thing is publicity. That we sent them a flyer, 2 flyers, one English, one Hebrew, and they sent this over the entire army. Every single base got it, that there's a lone soldier organization for English-speaking religious people. In the army, you can't do kiruv. Don't do kiruv. If you do kiruv, that's on the side, but the main thing is there are lone soldiers. Now, to give you an idea, there's in any one time, there's close to 1,000 English-speaking lone soldiers in the army. That's guys who come from Chutz La'aretz. Of those, I'm sure about 30% or more have had a religious upbringing. That's the one thing. And the guys are in there for like a year and a half, so you're getting, let's say, 1,500 serving at any one time. And then you've got guys pre-induction and guys, many of them stay and many of them go. So our aim, besides to just do the best we can for them, to give them, because army for anybody is stressful, and it's compounded many times with guys who have got no family there, and we're their family. The lone soldiers we met say within also 20 seconds, great what you're doing, because they know, they just stay at home. Nobody, in the army you're something and you've got action to do, you've got, mesimot, you've got pu'ulot. You come back, it's like a regular, you're living in a really not great apartment and nobody cares for you, So here we've got this organization for them. You can just pass this around over there. I'll go through it over here with you guys here. I'll just show you, this is the booklet which you put together. So this was me in 1981, before many of you were born, right?
Not quite.
Not quite, but this is me I was an army chaplain in the South African Army, and also was the Reverend of the Shul. Rabbi Berzon always laughs. This is the Shul, the Rondebosch Shul in Cape Town, and these are about 60 or so Jewish servicemen in the South African Army. So this has always been in my blood. Next page I've got...
Rabbi, do you have one more of those by any chance?
Not on me here, no.
No, that's what I have.
Okay, so you keep it in the middle. And then, sorry, let me just take us a little bit further. And here you've got, I've got my 2 sons. I had 3 sons in the army, but here are 2 of them. They were in the army at the same time. One was in Kfir infantry, the other one was an officer in 202 in San Khalid. He was there almost 5 years. He had a big debate whether he was going to do permanent force, but he said, I'd can. Anyway, here are the soldiers who went to go and visit.
How did your sons enter into the army? What type of program?
Well, my oldest was in Hesda. And then the other one, pardon?
Which yeshiva?
He was in Shalavim. And the next one went into Kfir. When he was in Kfir, he wasn't so religious, but now he's quite religious again, Baruch Hashem. And the third one wanted to do regular army and not go to Haredi.
When did you make Aliyah?
85. And he went into Tzanchanim. and he did very well. It was very good for him, as it always is, and he was very happy to serve. And now he's in a very elite unit, and as an officer, for his miluyim. These are the guys in the next one. These, when I started, these were my madrichim, because the big thing is, how do you get customers, right? You've got to bring customers, right? You guys all know business, customers. These guys all had, one was serving, two was serving maybe, the rest were all just out of the army, so they got friends who are still in the army. So now we've got a bit easier because we've got a bit more knowledge, and we send out emails, and we've got people who know about us. Like this Shabbat, my wife sent me an email, so from England, heard about us, and he wants to come. It takes a bit of time. The army's also helping us. They want to set us up with, they've mentioned, with the Sochnut and the Nefesh Benefesh. So we want to get to know the soldiers before they come, to get them to live in our area. If we have apartments that can raise money, it's even better. If I haven't, then they will raise apartments there. That's why we spoke on Friday to Rabbi Yair Spitz, and we're seeing Rabbi Eli Mandel tomorrow. And so when I go to New York, I want to go and see Rabbi Teitelbaum in 5 Towns. I saw him a few months ago. Now I'll tell him what we're doing, and also I'll try to get appointed with people at Frisch, because they always send some guys to the army, and the guys must know about us before they come, so we can, get the word out.
How many people can stay? How many soldiers can stay in your apartment on a Shabbos?
Not so many can stay. I think it's about 6 can stay in there, but we can put them up. We can put them up all around. A lot of them live in the area. That's the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Because if a guy doesn't live in the area, he's not going to come. They're exhausted. They're working, 18 hours a day, and it's physical and it's dangerous. They come back, and they generally sleep out of Shabbos, get up for their Shabbos, and go back to the base.
How they do their laundry? Like how they do their laundry?
These things, they have to work that out. They have all these problems as lone soldiers. There's a Baishal Benji that's in Ranana. They help them with the laundry net. We don't do that yet. I haven't got a whole big system of volunteers. It's myself, Rabbi Berzon. I've got a guy who works for me, and people in the Kehillah. So we haven't got a whole ma'arechet of that. We just want to do it when the soldiers come. We have 10, 15 soldiers on a Friday night. This week, when I was here in Toronto, they had their first minyan on their own, which I think is going to be the best minyan in town. Lone soldiers, Kalabach, Mashu. This is the
EMT.
Pardon?
EMT, that's minyan in town.
Right.
No, you went to Shiloh.
Right. So this is with one of the guys with me. These are all lone soldiers at a Sherbrooks, which we made for a lone soldier. This is a few weeks ago. Quite a few of these guys are, but 3 of them are in Tzanchanim. This one with the Fox is in undercover unit in Magav. And the guy at the back is an officer in Nachal Haredi. Now here are the 2 ladies from Tash. They came here. They were blown away because they said there's nothing like this. I asked them. There's nothing close like this. And 25 seconds they get the story. And here's Ramra Avad. Each person said there's a girl here with a lady. She's got a beret on her head. She came on a birthright. She wasn't religious. She was from a small town in Oregon. First time in Israel. She was almost finished nursing. She said, I'm not going back. That's the way it is. Within only a few months, she was in the army, and then she was the nurse, the chovesh or choveshet for Sayeret Nachal. So it's very impressive. You know what I mean? People couldn't believe it. Little girl, but that's what she did. So these are the people over here. On the one other side, that's my son, who was the officer in the army. All these guys, most of these guys were combat. The one guy here, he was also a lone soldier. He learned in a kollel. This was Purim last year with all lone soldiers over here. If you guys heard of Max Steinberg Zatzal, he was the lone soldier from LA who fell. So we finished the Mishnayot, and we did that for him. And we got, it's not over here, it's inside the book over here. We got the Rav of Golani came. Where's it over here? The Rav of Golani, here we are, you can see it over here in the other booklet. He came and he spoke. It's quite amazing. He says he really wants to come and speak. He knew the Niftar, and he was going on a bus, no car, no driver. He came on a bus. Which bus do I catch? Real mysterious nefesh. You don't get that. Which bus do I catch? And he came and he spoke. So this is for the. We got the guys in the kollel to do it. Everybody did their bit. We took them out for a Shabbos to one of the visiting things. This is one of their tekasim. Very amazing stuff. Here we gave these guys these tfidanit. You familiar with that? That's the tefillin case with a hard plastic on the inside. Guys really like that. There's a lot of, and this is at a place called Michvei Alon. If you know where that's near Tiberias, it's for soldiers. It's generally lone soldiers or who come towards the end of high school, who haven't got enough Hebrew for the army. So it's 3 months of army orientation, a bit of running and fitness, and a lot of Hebrew. A lot of Hebrew.
That's a program that the Army runs?
The army runs. They're all in the army uniform, but it's not basics. It's not Teronut. They're going to go afterwards into Teronut. And you've got no idea, there are many shvilim for people to come to Yiddishkeit and to express their Yiddishkeit. The army is for sure one of them. And you get guys who come like this girl from nowhere, Last night we met a guy called, one of the lawyers, whatever it is, and he said he was at somebody's table and there were some lone soldiers there, and he said he met a guy, a lone soldier, he said he couldn't believe it. It's like Avram Avinu. He was from Phoenix, Arizona. He was very involved in guns, and he was a person who worked in the shooting ranges, with the Marines and this, that. And somebody told him about Sahel. I'm a Jew. And he decided, looked it up, I'm joining. Never been to Israel, nothing. And so he was so fascinated with this guy who comes from no background and has come and joined the army. He said he went to his graduation at this Michvei Alon. It's near Tiberias, up in the mountains there. That's what it is. So the guys are very happy there. This is a lone soldier, slightly outside our normal ambit, but he's from Belarus. But he's getting married, needs a bit of money. So we gave him a few thousand shekels, and we got somebody had given us some utensils. He was extremely happy. He's Magav. Now the Magav guys, there's a lovely word in Hebrew, it's called action. You've heard of action? There's action every night. Part of the cocktail is always because he's in the Otef Yerushalayim, which is very, very restive. Very restive. So in the army, when there's a war, you go and do arrests or skirmishes, but with the Gav, this work all the time. And here we did these tefillin cases with these guys. I was very happy to get them. In Tsukaitan, you can see over here Toronto, West County, Riverdale, and Emek Learning Centre. Our major commitment was a certain amount of money, but we were the ones who had the tax exemption status, which the other ones didn't have. So they gave us the money in Toronto, because as you know, it's Rabbi Azarya and I were discussing. I found an answer, Rabbi. Is the issue to give money without a tax receipt? Is it d'oraita or d'Rabbanan? It has to be d'Rabbanan, Rabbi. It's like a brocha for the mitzvah. The mitzvah still stands, but the Rabbanan say you get a tax. So people say, like I met a guy this morning. He says, "Do you have tax?" I said, "For sure." He says, he's got a rule. He never gives anything unless there is a tax thing. A tax, he can get a tax receipt. Okay, that's Mirek Avotam. But here we are. This is for the tank unit. We helped them out there, etc. Every different part of the army has its own pasuk. Like the Mossad or this, that, one of them has got like Betachpulot Oseh Milchama or something like that. Is it Duvdevan? Okay, they've got all these from Mishlei, from here, from there. This one is from Parashat Yitro. When Yitro says to Moshe, Simu Lav, Sarei Alafim, Sarei Me'ot, Sarei Chamishim, and then big thing, V'Sarei Asarot, because Mefaked Kita is somebody who has got 10 people under his control, under his pikud. So in the camp, there's a big, as you come in a big, like a stone thing with this pasuk there, and in big print, in big letters, V'Sarei Asarot. This is, we went to these guys. You can see over here our red Weber grill. I'll tell you one thing. Somebody told me when you start the Jewish organizations, you never finish with food. Somebody asked me, we come to Toronto, I know what we are doing, and Army tell us what we are doing for these guys. Nobody's doing this. Lone soldiers, English speaking, dati, etc. So somebody asked me, have you heard of Panim El Panim? Which I had heard of. So they explained to me, Panim El Panim, they go into the army, and then they give certain kind of lectures about Yahadut, and educate the guys towards that, and a bit of Kiruv, etc. And I was thinking about that. It's excellent. And we don't do that. If they're hitting them in the head, I'm hitting them in the stomach. And I know one thing, the stomach's far better than the head. Right, Rabbi Berzon? You would disagree. That's right, you would disagree. But put it this way. It's first like a boxer. First to the stomach, then to the head. not the head and the stomach, you know. You get them that way. This is over here. The guy, this is in Psagot. This guy, the one guy's from England. This guy's from Holland, and he's a Baltimore guy, and this is the guy that worked for me. And this is the Rav Rashi. He came to our center to speak to the Kehillah, and obviously we've learned soldiers, Mashim Yuchad, and so on and so forth. And here we've got a fitness group, which is guys from Duvdevan, the guy in the front here. Another guy took the pictures, also a trainer. We went to Herzliya with the guys. Nice time. And that's what it is. So our next thing is that we want to have 1 or 2 more apartments and to run a Mechina program. Once we run a Mechina program, we'll be able to get the guys in our area, and then people will know about it a lot more. The army will give me all the help, but they don't give you money. When I spoke to the Rav from Chel Avir, you have to know how they work. They don't give. They'll give the soldiers money for a rental subsidy, but they don't give other amutot money. But at least they are working with us to give us publicity and etc. That's what we do.
You're sending your customers.
Pardon?
They're sending your customers.
They are giving us correct. That is absolutely correct. They are sending us customers, and that's what we need. The money we'll get. The customers also get it. Takes a bit of time, and that's who we are. I'll show you a picture over here.